Welcome to the Second Briefing Podcast with Scott and Tom. We're recording from the Gunslinger Clubhouse in beautiful downtown Hillsboro.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott, and I spent 23 years on patrol at a local sheriff's office.
Hey, and I'm Tom. I spent 26 years at that same sheriff's office working with Scott.
In this podcast, we're going to be speaking with former and retired police officers about their life after police work and how they've been dealing with civilian life.
Hey, and maybe we'll have a little fun along the way. Boom, hashtag.
Okay, everybody, let's get to the podcast. Hey, everybody, we have our first sponsor of the Second Briefing Podcast. Tall Fur Coffee was started by a retired police officer. Tall Fur roasts and packages their own coffee and has several blends such as Guatemalan and Sumatran. There is even cold brew if you prefer. It gets Tom and I ready for our day. I was not a coffee stop before, but now I am, and Tall Fur is the best.
Right now, you go to tallfurcoffee.com and enter the code Second Briefing for 15% off your order. That's the number 2 with an ND briefing for 15% off your order. Thanks for Tall Fur Coffee for all your support.
Order yours today and support first responders.
Put that where you keep it at.
Right there.
Right there? Okay.
That's where I got it from.
All right, buddy.
And
All
we're
right.
live.
All right, welcome back to the Second Briefing Podcast. You got your one and only Tommy Buckmaster, the 3 words. Whoop, whoop. The 1 word.
Scott.
Scott. And we're back here with our buddy Chris, episode 2, and it's podcast number 21. Whoop, whoop.
We're
So
going
it's
up in
our
2-1.
going up in the world.
2-1, yeah.
Yeah.
2 for the price of Chris.
So this is our second, what do you want, I don't know what you want to call it, continuation of
Yeah.
Chris.
Episode number 2.
Life.
Yeah.
Chris is
And
live.
Well, since I didn't do a second thing for Gerba,
Yeah, we don't got no Gerba.
this is the top 5 things that Gerba did today.
Nothing.
Nothing. So we're killing Gerba.
He's on a boat.
And so we talked about in the last
Gerba's stretching
episode, we talked about the greening thing.
Oh, yeah,
I
greening.
was going to look for that photo
Here it comes.
from last week, and here it is at the MGM Grand.
It's-
I'm gonna walk it up.
It's Scott and his buddies doing the greening.
This is from July 16th of 2013.
How's it look, Robbie?
Can you see it, Rob? Is it good? Closer? Too close?
He's got his thumbs up.
That's good.
Right. Anyway,
It feels
Yeah.
right. It feels
from
right.
The sheriff's office from way back when. Anyway, it was
Greeting.
pretty funny. We just all got the side pose and
It feels good.
You got to be remembered for something, man.
yeah. So we were
Well,
discussing.
welcome back.
Yeah, thanks
Welcome
for
back. Another day.
Thanks
It's a
for
new
coming
day.
back again.
Yes.
All
We
the
didn't
way,
change our clothes.
all the way from your house.
Yes. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, good job. You drove so far again. Oh man. So you were talking about last week
Yeah.
that you were at the sheriff's office, and then you were in the military, and then you realized at some point that you were having some PTSD that was related from
Yep.
being in the military, and then it kind of led into the sheriff's office, and that you were having these
Caused
basically
problems.
panic attacks
Yeah.
Yep.
that you were having from all this stuff that you were having from the training. Not just from the canine stuff, but that was the basically the trigger that you realized that was what was happening.
Yep.
And you decided it was time to retire.
Yep.
Kind of tell us how that went. You went and talked to somebody and lead us into that.
Was the
and what you're
transition
doing
easy?
now.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Tell us
Exactly.
about that.
It's not
So-
easy, right?
No.
No,
They'll
no.
say they're going to help you
So
until you ask for help.
So I taught this course on how to counsel first responders because the people at my clinic that I was working at, they're
This
used
is after the fact.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is very recently. And so basically in this presentation, I show them this picture. Now, if you guys were to describe my affect in this picture, how would you describe me? What do I look like? Where do I look like in life?
You look like a very happy
You
man.
look like a happy
there.
guy. You're
Happy,
ready to go.
Confident.
Very happy,
right?
confident,
Yeah.
Hey.
slim and
Patriotic.
trim.
Yeah, so a few
Loving
hours,
life.
a few hours after that
Bald
picture
as
was
shit.
taken. Oh yeah, always. A few hours after that photo was taken, we finished up training and we had gone out and just go do patrol stuff. And there's that turnout on 26 at Murray, and I went and parked there, slid the dog door shut, and put my gun in my mouth. And I was ready to do it. I knew I was not safe, and if I couldn't do this job, I didn't know what else I could do. This is before the whole sweating outside my car incident, just like about a week before that. And just grace of God, the universe, fate, whatever you want to attribute it to. I'm agnostic on that one, but dispatch just sent me a call And I was like, okay, time to go to work. Put my gun away and open the dog cage, and then went to the call. And that was another pivotal moment where it was like, oh, this is not good. But I also, again, too chicken shit to say anything. So then I have that incident that we talked about last week where I was outside my car sweating my ass off, and my wife's like, you're done. So I start building everything for the gym, and I basically ordered everything for the first version of the gym off of Amazon. I just wanted to get the fucking thing started, so that way I could just get going. And one of my training partners from the previous gym that I belonged to, he agreed to go into business with me. He was he's dead now, rest him. But he was the assistant director to the Doctor of Ministry program over at a seminary here in Portland area, and he was a pastor and very brilliant guy, great fighter. But we go into business together, start up the gym, and we're basically doing self-defense stuff. I'm the second highest ranked Krav Maga instructor in the United States, and so we were doing the Krav Maga self-defense stuff, plus we were adding boxing and Muay Thai and added a little catch wrestling and jiu-jitsu to it as well. And did that for about 2.5, 3 years.
What was the name of your place?
Invictus Defense Academy.
Okay.
Yep. No longer. We closed last August,
okay.
A year ago, and
so
we'll get into that.
Not to cut you off right there, but
okay.
You left the sheriff's office. Who did you go talk to? How did that go when you left?
So I didn't trust anybody in my immediate change in command.
Okay.
And so I wrote my resignation letter and explained that I was resigning because of, unchecked PTSD and depression and anxiety, that I didn't feel that I was safe and that I was more of a liability than an asset, that I appreciated my time at the agency and all these other things. At the time, the sheriff, PG, he was still a very, very good sheriff at that time. I genuinely had a lot of respect for the guy. And so I requested a face-to-face with him, and his admin assistant asked me why, and I was like, I just need to have a meeting with him. So I go in for this meeting. I slide my letter across the table, and I'm trying not to cry because I basically sobbed like a child the whole drive in, knowing that my whole dream is over.
Right.
And knowing I'm about to put a label on myself, as crazy or whatever, and broken.
Because back then there wasn't a lot of. I mean,
so
I
stigmatized.
can't think of anybody before you that has done it.
No.
I mean, that's
so
open about it. Now.
so stigmatized.
Right.
And so he reads the letter and he looks at me, and I was like, and that's all I could get out. I was like, and he's like, okay.
Because he had to have understood, because he was also in the military, and he's also
he
had
was
a long career in
very
police.
skilled military leader, led combat deployments and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just can't. And so I go back downstairs and I started telling people, hey, I just turned in my resignation, you know, and kind of handing off some collateral duties and whatnot. And
was it an immediate, like, I'm done today?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I gave a 2 week. Not like it really fucking mattered, but you know, like,
right.
But so.
But he wasn't going to let you go back in uniform.
No, I mean, he let me work the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
He just said, do you think you can make it next 2 weeks? I said, yeah, I think I can. And I had a mixture of training and patrol stuff to do over that 2 weeks.
Right.
And I knew it was going to take me a while to close out some of my cases. And
sure.
And we also I had to give the team the opportunity to find a new handler for the dog, because we had just bought this dog like a year and a half prior. And he was a great tracker, great dog. And, you know, so I made my recommendation for who they should bring back as a canine handler for that dog, and that was overlooked. And they actually eliminated my position on the team altogether.
Okay.
And they took the dog back to the vendor.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, he's going to get a great resale value on that dog, because I took him from nothing to fully trained police dog, so they were going to make a lot of money off that fucking dog. So. Yeah, that was kind of that. My very last day was actually training recruits, and at lunch I was working with Carlin, the current sheriff, Ryan Kay, a couple others that I had worked with for a long time and had a lot of respect for. And I told them, and I even kept my resignation a secret. I was still really terrified of even talking about it.
Right.
And so I told them I was quitting, and they all just like stopped, and they're like, "What?" And I told them what was going on, And they were super warm about it, and they were very kind about it. And we go back upstairs, and I gathered all the recruits together. I was like, look, guys, this is my very last day as a cop, and I'm going to give you some words of, you know, experience here. I'm not going to say words of wisdom because I don't know shit, but, you know, this job can eat you alive. You've got to, you know, we say, you know, make sure you have civilian friends. You won't. You're going to only have cop friends. You know, you get sucked into this world. You know, this is just a fucking job. It's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with walking away from this. You know,
Right.
There's a lot of transferable skills here. And so I had a talk with those recruits, and then one of them I was in the Hitman suit. I was like, it's my last day. I'll take all the recruits on. Fuck it. You know, I just wore the Hitman suit all day. And it was the scenario where it's a warrant service in a park, and it's like, and I try to talk my way out of it. And as long as you take control of me, I don't fight you. But if you don't take my balance, if you don't do all the basics,
Control the hands,
I turn and fight you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kid, he's going back and forth, and he, unfortunately, was very much like me, kind of mouthy, right? And he goes, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back, or else." I was like, "Or else what?" And I look over his shoulder.
There it is.
Yeah, I look over his shoulder at the monitor, like, please give me the thumbs up because I'm gonna crack this kid across his helmet so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And so I finally turn around. She keeps giving me the thumbs down. I'm like, oh, all right. So I turn around. I'm looking at Jamie, no longer with the agency, right? And the kid grabs my hands. He doesn't take my balance. Doesn't make me separate my feet. And I look at her and I wink, and she just kind of gives me one of those, like, she knew I was ready for this, and she goes, "Go ahead." And I was like, yes. I turned around and clocked that kid so fucking hard. I spun his helmet, you know, and then I grab him and I plumb him, and I'm just sending knees to his body. And I hear Ryan goes, "Oh, he's throwing knees." And I keep fighting this kid. He knocks my helmet off, and I'm just bitch slapping him. I'm just, you know, I'm like, this is what you get for mouthing off to the wrong person, man.
Yeah.
And finally, I submit, and I let him get his win. And when they're doing his debrief, I'm like, look, buddy, I had that same problem. I thought I was way fucking tougher than you, and I've gotten way more fights than I probably should have because I said stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're going up against. And I have to let you win in these scenarios.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, how long did I have your ass pinned to the floor, right?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my little parting gift. Hopefully it helped somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I went and turned in all my shit, and the next week started Invictus and started this slow crawl for that, and then 9 years of teaching and training and managing fighters and having fighters compete and all the other fun stuff. It just got to the point where, you know, COVID really hurt us. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know,
It's tough on a gym.
Well, I actually opted to stay open, and Coin 6 News, yeah, I'm going to call your asses out. They did a fucking hit piece on me.
Yeah.
And
Look who's still open during COVID.
it's actually still on YouTube. You can probably still find it. But I was told, so my best friend knows one of the anchors for Coin. They went to college together. And so he goes, hey, she wants to do this piece on businesses that are choosing to stay open to save their livelihood. That's how it was sold.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I was like, okay.
That's gonna be nice for you.
So I got this nice "We the People" tattoo, and you know, I'm like, no, like, this is a peaceful protest. I have declared this as a peaceful protest. We are protesting the government mandates on masks, on vaccines, on all this other stuff. People are free to come in here and train whenever they want. I'm not going to control people. I don't force people to come in and train. They can keep their membership. They can not keep their. I don't give a shit. But I'm going to keep this open so that way I can keep people healthy, so that way they can, you know, possibly, if they get COVID, they get over it faster, all this other stuff. And what came on the news that night was, this guy is trying to kill everybody.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. And I got death threats. I got threats to burn down my business. I got threats against my family. I mean, shit that, like, the agency would send me home with a VAR alarm for.
Yeah.
And, like, it was intense for a while. And we just never quite recovered from it. I had started going to college. I did my undergraduate at George Fox, banged out a bachelor's in 16 months, and then I got accepted to grad school, but that was going to be down in California. And so one of my fighters, he was kind of aging out of the fight game, and so he wanted to run the gym. So I'm like, okay, cool. Tell you what, let's use the rest of this lease, which is like 2 years, as like a probationary period, and I'll teach you how to run the business, because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And while I'm down there, I want a phone call every week. Just give me how many new enrollments, how many people quit, what are you teaching? Make sure we're actually teaching things correctly. Mm-hmm. Those calls happened, and they started drifting off. They started getting more and more infrequent. And I was coming up every other month to teach a seminar and make sure everything was going good at the place and see my kid. And my wife and I were separated at the time, obviously, because I'm living in San Diego, but we were also just separated.
But did she still have a hand in the business too?
Yeah, she's always been she's really good at everything I fucking suck at. So, as far as the business end of it, like managing the finances and knowing where all the money is going and stuff like that, she managed that, and client services, she managed all that.
Okay.
So it got to the point where I would come back and things are all FUBAR, they're all jacked up, and gym's dirty, and it was driving me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm issuing out more ass chewings than I am, happy to see everybody.
Right.
And the guy I left in charge, he goes, look, I actually don't want to do this. I figured out this is too much. I can't. And I just took this promotion at my other job, and I start next week. I'm like, you motherfucker. So my son, who's also a fighter and a very skilled one, he's like, come back and save the gym, and I'll take it. And I knew he could, because even at 17, 18, he can command a class like a pro. Like he has a command presence to him that I've never seen in anybody else ever. And I was like, okay. So I moved back. And as I'm starting to go through things, I'm figuring out we're in a nosedive I can't pull out of. And I had also started my internship for my master's degree, and I was like, I can't do quality counseling and quality this. Like something's got to give.
Yeah.
And we were barely, just like, if you think about it like swimming, like I'm just swimming with just my face out of the water. Like the gym was just kind of just floating. And so I was like, you know what, we're done. We can't limp this thing along anymore. So we decided to close. And so we closed, had a huge seminar, blowout seminar to end it all. And then I sold off the majority of the equipment, took a bunch of other stuff back over to the house. And now the garage at the house basically looks like a mini version of the gym. Like we matted it out, got wall pads, painted the walls. Like it's a nice looking garage. And we invited like 15, 20 people that we really like to come over and start training with us on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And so we still do that. And so we still have our little community and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. And then obviously being a Marine is one of those things that kind of just stays with you forever. And what happens is the basic is never enough. So after I finished my bachelor's, I was like, well, fuck it. Let's just go all the way to doctorate. Okay. That was a smart fucking idea.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But, no, it's been a great journey. Don't get me wrong. It's got its hardships, but, so I just started getting into that and just really diving into the mental health world. And I really want to start approaching some of these stigmas that we have in law enforcement. My doctorate is in sport and performance psychology. And so doing a lot more performance-based stuff with first responders, recruits, because the recruits are currently hurting. Like a lot of them are so non-confrontational, and they don't know how to take feedback, and they just lack the resilience. And they're going on unplugged, 2, 3, 4 times, and shit like that, just to try to get them through. And so my best friend and my brother Joe, he's a detective down in Utah, and now he's a sergeant, and he is going to get his degree in counseling as well, and we're going to open our own business working with first responders, families, recruits, and like the whole gambit of it.
Are you going to open it locally, or is he going to do one over there?
No, we're gonna just attack whatever agency wants us.
Okay.
We're gonna do a lot of like workshops, talks, stuff like that, individual coaching and counseling, stuff like that. But we'll get to that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say, obviously there's the mind part of it, but you're talking about when they're going through that, it's the physicality stuff. You say performance, sports performance.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What do you elaborate
You ever heard
on
of
that?
the yips?
Huh.
You ever heard of the yips?
Yeah.
What's the yips?
I don't remember. Heard of it.
When somebody who is really skilled at a particular sport or task,
Okay.
And you can't do it anymore.
and then all of a sudden you
can't-
can't do the
yeah.
fucking basics,
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's all of
right.
a sudden you just got this mental block. That's one thing
Okay.
that goes into it. So the idea that we got it from is a program that got implemented into Army Special Operations, and now Marine Corps Special Operations has a different program. But the Army Special Operations program is called POTF, the Preservation of Force and Family. And what they noticed was they were getting a bunch of special operators. They were going through the pipeline. They were getting all trained up. They're pouring hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into these guys to get, be elite fighters. And then they're having this very short stint on the team before they burn out. And they're like, well, how can we elongate this so we can actually get a return on investment on this? So they brought in performance psychologists, athletic trainers, kinesiologists, physical therapists, all this other stuff. And that was starting to help them elongate their career and avoid burnout. But they also started noticing that the divorce rate was still epically high, and families were destroying the operator was destroying the family. So then they started putting in professional counselors, marriage family therapists, clinical social workers, licensed professional counselors, putting that into the team as well. And they started working with the family, like, hey, here's how not to destroy your operator, and here's how not to destroy your family. Right.
Now, does YIPS actually stand for something?
Just the inability to do basic stuff that you know.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's just vernacular.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just can't do what you're good at anymore.
Yeah. But so that and so they have a term called operator syndrome, which is very specific to special operations. And part of my research is basically getting like first responder syndrome. It's going to be very parallel with operator syndrome, but it's going to be just a parallel to it. Meaning there are a series of physical, psychological, and physiological issues that you sustain from this job that end up negatively impacting your performance. And so addressing that, so that way we can get people through a career longer and with less ethical issues, and we can help them, I don't know, not fuck up their marriages like I have and as so many other people have, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And to help destigmatize a lot of this, right?
Yeah.
So we've identified 3 major groups that we want to work with. You got the recruits. They don't know what they don't know. Obviously, that's why they're so fucking unsafe. Right?
Yeah.
They just don't know, right? But with the current generation coming in, you got the lack of resiliency, the inability to be confrontational. They're second-guessing themselves all the fucking time. They're too concerned about image, all these other things. Then you have that 5 to 8 year crew where, okay, I'm at kind of the top of the Dunning-Kruger, right? It's like, I've done this. I'm getting really comfortable with it, and now I'm starting to get a little complacent. Right?
Yeah.
Something in that window usually scares the shit out of you and then bumps you back to being really safe again.
Yeah.
Until just before retirement.
All the skill, no will.
All skill, no will.
Yeah. Being a rod, retired on duty, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the 3 points where people are getting hurt the most, and that's where the mental issue is happening the most. So if we can, get a program together, and we're pretty close to it, that we can get you to have a smooth career with mental performance coaching and counseling and mental health counseling and marriage family therapy. 1, your career is going to go a lot better. 2, you're not going to have to carry this bullshit that the rest of us are having to sit here and carry around because we were so stigmatized to not talk about it.
Yeah,
not
rub
get
some
it
dirt on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really great because
I do too.
It takes the stuff that we got kind of early on, like your Gil Martin books, your
Dave
Grossman, all those things, and make it a little bit better. Because I mean, the Gil Martin was great because you could read that and go, oh shit, that's me.
Yeah.
You sit at home and you watch TV. You can't talk to anybody for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And of course I took my wife, who still, thank God, we're still married, right? Sometimes I wonder how she stayed with me, but and then I took her to the Gil Martin, that type of thing. But this stuff I think takes it to a whole nother level because it's just, you look back on the career and you go, how did I get through some of that shit?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just always the calls. It was also the lieutenants and the
internal
you joke the
politics.
internal
Yep.
politics.
The politics
you,
is
you joke about that.
that's
stuff,
a big
but
part
it's-
of it,
but
though.
it's also
Oh, yeah.
true, and it's not that all lieutenants are bad, and even
No.
Gil Martin jokes
The
about
internal
that.
politics are more damaging than the
Because
trauma that we get on the road.
It's more stressful because you're trying to deal with the orders and the policies and all these. Because policies, let's not kid ourselves. Policies and rules and laws are made because somebody did something stupid.
Yep.
And I get that. You do something stupid and then make a policy about it. Okay, that's fair. But it's like you punish everybody for what some goofball did. And some of them are dumb. Some of them are like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, some of them are
But-
fucking dumb as shit.
but-
Where do you think PTSD really comes from? What causes PTSD?
It could be anything. I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be something very small. It could be something very big. It could be seeing a dead body. It could be somebody.
It's
I mean,
something
we
your
have
brain
people that we
can't deal with.
Okay.
yeah.
It's not actually the event that gives you the trauma. What gives you the trauma is the realization that another human has the potential of doing that to you.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
That's a good point.
And even when we're seeing abused children and stuff like that, maybe you were abused, right? Maybe that hits a soft point. Maybe, you have gotten to the point where you're getting a little bit jaded. Maybe you're starting to lose your cool at home and you're realizing just how close to being that you are at your own home, right? I mean, we've seen cops abuse their own kids. We've seen cops abuse their own wives, right? And obviously that needs to be dealt with accordingly.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, like, we also have to have a little bit of grace and a little bit of compassion to go, something here ain't adding up, and it might be a cognitive mental health issue rather than just that guy's just a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many guys have you seen come to the agency where they start out, they're super awesome, they're super sweet, and they're just a go-getter, and then you just watch them deteriorate to just a bag of trash over the years.
Yeah.
And they're jaded and they're angry and they unhappy at everything.
It's the same stuff that the Gil Martin thing talks about, but it's just that pile-on. It's like you said, there's that 5 to 8, or maybe it's that 5 to 8 or 8 to 15. Like when that person gets to that 10 to 15, you've been doing it for a while. You're really, the job is almost second nature. You've seen most
they're
everything.
making me put that hat on now.
And all you deal with is everybody's
Put that
garbage.
stripe on my pants now.
We all know what I'm talking about. We have a really good friend that went through some stuff. He's no longer with the agency, which is probably the best for him.
Yeah.
And he realized he had some shit happen, and I'm not going to say what it is, but he wasn't an asshole, but he became an asshole around people that he cared about.
Yep.
And I didn't notice it personally, but it happened to those he cared about, and it took some serious shit to wake him up.
Yeah.
And he did, and he realized it, and he fixed it, and everything's better now.
Yeah.
I guess. But not everybody can be that. No. I guess you call it lucky. I don't know if you call it lucky or fortunate. And so that's the thing, is if you can get that stuff before it happens, where you're like, these are the things you have to watch out for and know it ahead of time, which isn't always going to work, but it could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to be, but then there's the issue of the power.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you do that, because that's, you can do all the tests, you can do the interviews, you can do the backgrounds and do all these things. And I'm not talking about the person I was just talking, because he's still a good person. I mean, but there's people, and we've seen them in our career, that they go through all that stuff, and you still get these people that get in, and they were just assholes anyway.
Yeah.
And they still it ends up catching up to them at some point,
Yeah.
and they do just stupid stuff, and they weren't good people to begin with, but it doesn't, you're never going to always completely eliminate that, but there are good people that get turned goofy because now they're in a position of power. The adrenaline stuff we were talking about, where you're looking for all that stuff. Well, it's military, like these people that were Navy SEALs, that they're looking for this adrenaline junkie.
Looking for that high again.
Yeah, the same thing happens to cops.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of high that you.
Very
They're
different.
looking for.
We're all dope addicts.
Yeah.
We're
whatever it
searching
is.
for dopamine.
Yeah.
Whether they go out and they drink with their buddies, they look for extracurricular stuff on the side.
Yep.
They can't seem to keep. They got to get a fix somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danger becomes your life.
Yeah,
And you don't
and
know
they
how to
can't.
not live without it. And what makes the interagency politics so traumatizing is, again, it's the realization that someone who's on your side could do this to you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to go get it, have someone attack you on the road and get into a fight. You're like, okay, that could be traumatizing for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it's also expected. But when it comes from inside, and then you get blindsided with
And they're supposed to be your family. They always give you the family. We're all family here, but until they're not.
I mean, work is number one, or family's number one, work is number two, right, kind of thing. So,
Hey, that was bass backwards. Good job.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because it's frustrating because everybody starts at the same position, right? And some people promote through the ranks, and then we always joke about, well, they got the lobotomy or whatever, and
Drink Kool-Aid.
yeah, they drink the Kool-Aid,
The
whatever
Kool-Aid.
it may be, and then
That's
it's
special
like, well,
Kool-Aid
they
in the
figure
fridge
they come.
upstairs.
Some do, some don't. There's everybody has. There's some good leaders out there, and I'm not saying that there aren't, but it's like, instead of going, okay, these are my people, how do I, sometimes cops do stupid stuff that they just can't, they can't take back, and you can't
Yes.
ignore certain things,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
But if you make a mistake, you talk to people bad, you tell somebody, this isn't a police matter, Gerba, But, you know,
Hashtag.
I got to throw a Gerber in there every once in a while. But, you know, you
Get a life.
You could say some stupid shit, you know, like the thing you said last week about, you know, my badge number is 8675309.
Yeah.
You know, okay, that's funny. And should you have done it? Probably not. But okay, but
But
is
in
it
the big
going to
scheme of
hurt?
things, who really gives?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
at the
really?
end of the day,
who
is
did
it
it hurt
hurting
that
anybody?
fucking druggie?
Right.
Yeah, that guy's just complaining to complain. Now, if you'd punch that guy and use excessive force, okay, that's another thing. That's another whole issue. But the other thing is, okay, look, you counsel the guy, you know, hey, don't do that again, right? I mean, there's certain things that up to a point where you can counsel somebody, and let's see. Now, if you keep doing those little things, maybe there's another underlying problem. And it's these little tiny jabs you make at people. Why are you so angry when you're talking to people? Maybe there's something. Let's pull somebody offline and talk to them, right? And that's not happening to people.
No.
They're not allowing that. And we've had people that have gone, hey, I've got a problem. I'm drinking a fifth before duty.
Yeah.
And I'm coming in and working, and they're a functioning
Yeah.
alky.
Oh yeah.
And I know people that have done
and
that.
they can demo
And they
field sobriety test just fine.
and they've turned themselves in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's great. I'm glad they figured
that's
it
the
out.
most
but-
amazing thing they could have ever done.
Yeah, and then they're fine now, right?
Yeah.
And they've since retired.
So proud of that guy.
Yeah, right. And that's okay. But I wish that there would be more of the people at the top that would look at that. And I maybe they are, and they're afraid because they don't know how to break out of that Kool-Aid drinking mold. Who knows? I don't know what the problem is. But,
Well, I mean, we make this our identity.
right.
Because I mean, that's so in the therapy world, I don't say you're depressed. I don't say you have borderline personality disorder or you know anything like that. I just go, this sounds like you're dealing with this. You are not your disorder. But in this career, you are a cop. And just that simple statement is that is your identity, period, end of story. Whether
Right.
you're here or whether you're at home, you are a cop.
Yeah, you always
Right.
are.
Right. And like as I was told by a particular very overweight union rep, president, that
Holy moly.
I was getting in trouble for saying something on my anonymous secured Facebook that only
Yeah.
I had given permission to the people that I knew to see. Didn't have my profile picture, didn't even have my real name on it. It was typical cop Facebook page.
Right.
And they were coming after me for something I said, and I was like, I have the First Amendment too. He goes, no, you don't. You gave up all your rights the second you became a cop. I was like, actually, my oath was to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oregon against all people. That includes this fucking agency. So, no, I'm going to say what the fuck I want. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that internal betrayal that causes the vast majority of the PTSD. It's the agency biting on their own.
Yeah.
And I don't understand I would love to study that. What happens mentally when somebody goes from sergeant to lieutenant?
Well, the problem is, I think when they get promoted, it's like you said, they have this. We all have the identity that we're cops. Because the first 15 years I was there, I looked up to the people that were the trainers, the SWAT guys, and rightly so at the time.
Yeah.
You look at them and you go, oh, I want to be like that because those guys are cool and they do this. And they're high speed and all these other things. And they say all the right things and the cool things, and they're all tactical, and they wear black, whatever. And 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 then
They all wear 5'11".
You fast forward to when Michael G says, "Don't be that guy," in his email to the department that wears 5'11s every day. I mean, one of the best, well-written emails at the end. But when you have that identity that you are a cop all the time, it's you've got to, you don't go to a party and you go to a party with mixed crowd of people. People, oh, this is my friend Scott, he's a cop.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my nephew offline one time. It was at my kid's high school graduation thing. He and I were talking. He's about the same age as her. He's a couple years younger, and we were talking. And he was talking about that. He goes, "It's kind of weird, the stigma about police." I go, "Yeah," because we were talking about how the tide has turned with the Floyd thing and the COVID and how things kind of come back and forth. And I said, well, I go, it's interesting. I said, we were at a party and there are people, you'd probably go, hey, this is my Uncle Scotty. He's a cop. Mm-hmm. He goes, yeah, I probably would. I go, when you go to parties and your mom's there, do you go, this is my mom, she's a physical therapist? He goes, no, I don't. Yeah. I go, see the difference?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. And it
Why is everybody going to say this is?
He goes, yeah, because
it's Tom the cop,
a completely different
And
profession.
everybody does it. Why?
Yeah.
And I said, don't tell even my wife. Why you got to tell about my cop?
Because there's police stories, there's movies, there's TV shows about it. It's just, and no, it's not like we're New York City cops. It's not the same thing, but it's the same job. And so that's where the identity thing comes in. And I think that they forget about that this makes you an identity when you do all that stuff for years and years, and then you realize, oh my God, like I do this all the time. And I didn't put my family on the back burner. I wouldn't say that, but it wasn't. I was spending so much time at work, working overtime and doing this, and I was involved in teaching that and doing and putting these reserve things on. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
But then you go, wait a minute. I'm doing a lot of this. And I know Tom could say the same thing about, TriMet and going
traffic
and doing
and
traffic.
the traffic,
He loved the traffic team. He spent a lot of time doing, all that stuff. And you with K9.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's where, and that's okay. People can do that. But then it's that, I think having something where you're getting involved is helping find that. You joke about the work-life balance, but I mean, it's a thing with us. People say, oh, work-life balance, but you have to with this job.
And this job is temporary. You theoretically,
Thank God.
Theoretically,
Or whoever you
you
wanna
get
thank.
married
Yeah.
for life, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what the
supposed
vows
to.
say. That's what we're supposed to do,
You're
right?
supposed to.
But I mean, how many do we know are on their second, third divorce? Or just could just never get it right, or they just keep whoring themselves around. And and don't get me wrong, all of us are guilty of it in some way. But again, these are byproducts of a much deeper issue.
Yeah.
And I think what finally made me secure with retirement was learning through listening to like Sean Ryan show and some of the guys on there, and then obviously going through grad school and whatnot, as I'm going, I'm not actually broken. There's these underlying things that are driving these shit behaviors that I have to address.
Yeah.
It's whatever the behavior is just the topical surface of it. You have to get way down deep to the root of it. And to not get too Freudian on you, but it always comes back to your childhood.
Yeah.
Every fucking time, and then, but because that's where the foundation was laid.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything is maladaptive from there on.
Yeah.
Right. And we don't have the psychoeducation in our society until you get to the point where you are broken and you actually have to come see someone like me to then explain it. And we need to get better about understanding it. And especially going into a job like this or special operations in the military, you need to have those mental health resources from day one.
Yeah.
And if you don't have those, man, you're not going to show up into my office until everything is so fucking broken that it's a million puzzle pieces.
It's going to take forever.
And it can't be just EAP. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No,
but
it's a good Band-Aid.
That's what it is. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah. And I've used it. Don't get me wrong. And it helps to some degree.
Yeah.
But it has to be something either more different.
It's going to be something constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I go twice a month. I was going once a month. That wasn't even enough. I told myself I need more.
Yeah.
You need more. I might need more than twice.
For a long time, it should be, weekly.
Yeah.
And
I
if
almost
not,
think
depending on where you're at in life, maybe even twice weekly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but the thing is, like, people aren't showing up to marriage family therapy or to private counseling until things are so goddamn broken. And I'm just like,
It's even hard to get
Holy
there because
shit.
they all want you to do virtual now.
oh,
Who
that's
wants to do marriage
don't get
counseling
me
virtual?
That is so
No.
goddamn hard. I fucking hate virtual therapy with a fucking passion. The downside is the business model I'm having is going to predominantly make me fucking a virtual goddamn therapist, but it is what it is. But yeah, it is so hard because you can't interrupt. You only see this much.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the whole body language.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
everything.
That's important.
Yeah, I mean, I caught a husband lying just by how his foot was moving, and but
That's crazy.
Again, that's the beauty of being a cop before being a therapist.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, anybody who's looking to get out of this fucking profession, seriously, go get a degree in counseling. I'm not joking. Like, this job is so fucking parallel. Like, everything is practically the same. You just don't drive fast and you don't have a gun. Well, I do.
You
But-
could though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
still could.
I still
Yeah.
carry mine, but and your clients don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Maybe.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
I had one, right? But that was a very extreme case. But the thing is like, you're helping people solve their problems, and the beauty of this one is like you actually get to watch them from start to finish to a degree. Whereas in law enforcement, okay, I see someone, I help them out for that one day. I may never see that.
That's back to the
motherfucker again.
Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's kind of a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, and this job, like, it's, to me at least, it scratches the same itch. I loved running the gym. It just didn't scratch the itch. it didn't make me feel like I was actually living what my mission in this life is, which is leave people in a better condition than how I found them. And by doing this, you know, if you're one of those cops that kind of shares that same thing, I just want to leave people in a better condition than how I found them, and you're just at your end of the rope with this job, then yeah, go get a master's in counseling, because one, it pays better. Two,
I'm sure.
better
Yeah.
hours. It's better hours. A full caseload is like 25 people.
Theoretically, not in danger either, as much.
I mean, I've
always
had
danger in all
one.
of
I had
things,
one
but-
guy threaten me, and that
That was a
that's still kind
Probably
of
not the best
I
idea.
can't really talk about it as much. Yeah, as soon as he said it, I was like, that would not be a good idea. Have a seat. But at the end of the day, you know,
Krav Maga, by the
I
way.
know.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's got his videos playing in the
I
background.
was so looking forward to it, but you know,
Yeah.
this
Please, sir.
job is
Please, sir.
so parallel, and you can still get that same.
Right.
You
So
know, you're still contributing.
let me ask you a question. So,
Send it.
when you're looking at this, right? Because the stigma has come off quite a bit, and we've, you know, and you know about, we know a lot of people that have had problems in the last few years. It's gotten a little more prevalent where the counseling is more acceptable. There's still a stigma, I think, a little bit. You know, but that stigma's starting to wear off, and it's a little more acceptable to go talk to people. And we're, you know, as older guys, and at the end of our careers, we were telling, it's okay, go talk to somebody. I've done it. What, you have? Yeah, of course. It's not a problem. Go talk to people. You know, when my father passed away, I was like, fuck, I got to go talk to somebody, because it's with this job and with the things and the pressure that I felt in certain aspects. It's like, and it wasn't just that. There was other things that were going on, and I got to talk to people. And that wasn't the first time I talked to somebody, but there was that hit me just right at that time in my life that I needed to go chat with someone other than my family, because it just, I had to talk to somebody that didn't know me.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the thing. But when you look at that from the point of view, okay, you look at, you know, okay, the Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon thing where he's running away from the counselor, right? And you joke about that. When someone says something, okay, and then you have the counselor, is it something where you're reporting to admin,
No.
right? Because then you have, okay, well, admin gets this concerning thing, you know, that Bob said about himself in therapy, and he said, oh, well, blah, 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 I like to look at this, or, you know. Do you see what I'm getting at?
That's one reason I'm not ever going to take insurance as a therapist.
So what does that mean?
So you can get mental health resources using your insurance, right? All right.
Which
so
EAP is. I
EAP,
guess.
well, yes,
No, not
EAP
really.
is
Right.
because it's paid for by the county or city or whatever.
Right.
When you are employed and your employer provides you the insurance,
Right.
you don't have the same HIPAA rights that you think you have.
Right.
I have to abide by HIPAA laws. Insurance companies don't. And so an insurance company requires me to give you a diagnosis within 6 sessions. And I think that's absolute shit, because you're
Giving me, like, if I'm your patient,
if
you
you're
give
my
me-
patient, I have to give you a clinical diagnosis of something within 6 sessions. And the easiest one to do is like adjustment disorder. Fails to adjust to, you know, current life. Okay. That, I mean, there's that, but a lot of it's PTSD, major depressive disorder, general anxiety disorder, you know, shit like that, right? Typical for the first responder side of that.
But 6, that doesn't seem like a very enough time, really, right?
No, it's not. I'm still getting to know you at that point, but the insurance companies, they're doing their job. They want to protect as much money as they make,
Yeah.
right? And then they don't want to pay out as much as they have to, right?
Right.
So they require it. And then you got to do it with so many check-ins all the time to still justify that they're still suffering from whatever it is you diagnosed them with,
Right.
which is absolute bullshit to me. The downside of that is, and I just learned this from a former sergeant of the agency who now currently owns a winery out in Forest Grove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to him and his amazing wife and their business.
Absolutely.
So he was the admin sergeant, and apparently the insurance companies don't have to abide by the same HIPAA laws. They were straight up telling him what people were getting counseling for.
Yikes.
I can't do that. I can't do that at all. But they can. And so if I just do super bills, right? You come to me, you pay me full cash, I give you a super bill, you turn it into the insurance company, and then they pay you out basically what they would have paid me, right? So a portion of what, like kind of like your copay or whatever.
Right.
Then I don't have to disclose that information to the insurance company.
So let me go. So like that, Stephanie Kahn,
Mm-hmm.
right? She had her place over there by East for a while. I know they
just moved, yeah.
But we talked about, so for that example, I went there a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went there. Do they have to disclose? Because I was using my
if they're taking insurance, then they have to disclose it to the insurance company, and then if the agency asks, then the insurance company can.
But that's if the agency knows about it, and
and again, this is like if the agency knows about it, kind of thing.
But
stuff
taking
like
that a step further to kind of go to my original question, if we're going, let's say we're going to go to Stephanie Kahn's place, we're going to use her or her group as people that we're going to go to every other week. You got to go for your wellness. You got to go talk to this person or a person in their office, right, as part of this new wellness thing, right?
Okay.
And then
if it's
and
paid
your
for,
insurance
if it's paid for by insurance or it's paid for by the county,
Right.
then there
because
are
then at that
limitations.
point, then it's going to be something that they would or could follow up on based on this admin sergeant's comment.
And this is the best I understand it, and I'm still looking up all the information about it. So this is not biblical at the moment, but it's if it's going to be paid for by a third party, then there are certain limitations to confidentiality.
And so, see, this is where I would get concerned to a degree, because I think you need that particular piece of.
Well, and this is why people don't trust therapists.
But is it the therapist or is it the insurance company?
It's really the insurance company, but it's kind of like, all right, cops get blamed for the decisions of politicians, right? The American public elects a series of politicians to represent the state and the federal government, and then they go and make a whole series of laws, and then they come back down to us and they go, hey, go enforce these things and do it with impunity. Okay, so we go out there and we start cracking heads and we start doing what we do, and then the public gets mad at us because we're the face of the politicians that then implemented that law.
Yeah, we enforce the laws that they make.
Yeah, we get blamed for that law, and it's like we didn't fucking write it. We didn't show up to briefing today and said, hey, this is what we're going to go enforce today. This is not our thing, right?
No, you always say, well, if you don't like it, go to Salem.
Right. And
lobby the people. Or
the
whatever,
therapist is the face of that same kind of institution.
Right.
Right. We take the blame for what the insurance companies end up, doing.
Because I could see not necessarily being a fight, but like a struggle between admin, the union, the therapists, and the insurance companies trying to figure out how, because really the bottom line is we just need these guys and gals to be helped.
Yes.
But yet, and maybe I'm being devil's advocate here, but it's like I can see this being a big problem where they're trying to help somebody.
Yeah.
Because
but it makes it worse. It's good idea, good intention, bad idea.
Because it's easy to quantify a knee or an ankle for workers' comp, but if you're using workers' comp for
mental health,
I mean, it's not as easy to quantify.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's almost impossible to quantify because it's all subjective.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a phenomenological experience.
Yeah.
So
and that's not even doing a maintenance thing. That's if you go to a traumatic event where you have a situation where you have a traumatic event with a supervisor or something sets you off, whatever it may be, an event with a supervisor, an event in the road or whatever that's traumatic.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
People are going to have that.
So
and it's some claims have been denied, some haven't. I've heard stories about different people at the office or different agencies, and I'm like, I've read some articles about stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah. And a lot of therapists, they spend more time battling the insurance companies than they do seeing their own fucking clients.
Yeah, which to me is horrible.
That's why a lot of therapists are just going away from the insurance industry altogether and just issuing out super bills.
And then if you have the client can then go back to the insurance company and claim, because then the
it's like
therapist can say
it's like an out of network provider.
Okay,
that's it.
You go back and ask for reimbursement. Essentially,
you ask for the reimbursement for an out of network provider. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I could have simplified that 10 minutes.
Well, no, that's fine. Because to me it just feels like, okay, I think that's a wonderful idea, but I guess I'm just looking at it from like I can just see this being a huge fight, interagency fight with all these different players,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I guarantee we'll run into that at some point, but I am a firm believer you are not your diagnosis. You just happen to be injured. It's no different than, all right, you bust your ankle, you bust a shoulder, you crank your back, something like that.
This is injured, your brain.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an invisible injury.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so easy to stigmatize, because I can't see it. You can't prove it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you sat in my body right now, you'd fucking know it, right? But, I mean, we need to get better at how we address this, and we need to get to the point where we understand psychology far better than what we do. Mm-hmm. Because now we just go crazy or not. Well, that Western black-white thinking is what's causing us all these fucking problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Everybody's suffering.
Yeah.
It's just some people are better at faking it than others.
Yeah.
That's it.
Until they can't.
Right.
And then something bad will happen.
Yeah, until you go absolutely bonkers and now you have a actual pathology that now you're hearing shit, seeing shit, and yeah. So
Yes.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I think until you get, and I'm not saying that our agency is bad or good or indifferent. I think that every agency can improve, but I know there's people out there that if you could convince somebody at the top in an agency somehow, I think you get that right person or people, whatever it was ours or anywhere across the United States, that people would start
all about
spreading the
money.
word.
yeah,
That's what it is. It's about money.
It's
It's
all
money,
it's government,
It's
so
the
it's
budget.
money.
Nobody wants to put it in their budget, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah, and it's military too. I mean, I know the military has to deal with that, and I know that, and all first responders, firefighters.
but if you want the return on investment for the money that you're putting into your deputies, your officers, your troopers, whatever the case may be, like, all right, let's back up for a second.
Okay.
I want you guys to give me a list of all the qualities, like the characteristics, the affect, the behaviors of what makes an absolute shit hot cop.
Why are you asking me?
Well, you're a shit hot cop, my friend.
Yeah, you are.
Truthfulness, integrity,
Okay.
Yeah. Good physical shape.
good physical shape.
Okay.
Relatively sound mind, but that's another quantifiable thing. You can't do that.
Sound mind meaning emotionally regulated.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Fairly stoic in their
Stoic.
affect. Okay.
Probably good morals. You got
Courage, really.
courage,
Very-
okay.
A lot of
Yeah,
courage.
Resilient.
run towards the
Resilient.
bullets, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
So, of all those things, right, one of them was physical. The rest of them are mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We invest everything we have into the physical.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Better shooting, better defensive tactics, better driving, better, case law memorization, better, procedures, better all this other shit. But we do absolutely fucking nothing other than some cheap freaking seminar that they'll do in the middle of a day training where everybody's sitting at a desk. They don't want to fucking be there. They're all cramming monsters.
Harassment training?
Yeah. And you have some, clinical social worker with blue hair going in there and fucking talking about mental health while she fucking hates cops.
And how bad we are.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, that doesn't work. And you don't take your car to the dealership or the mechanic only once the engine seizes up, or once
Yeah.
the brakes stop working, or once the tires are completely down to the freaking wires, right? Why, if you're not going to do that to your damn car, why the hell are we doing it to each other?
Yeah.
And what is it, like every 100,000 we had to, or 50,000 we had to take the cars into the shops or something like that? I don't
Yeah.
know what the matrix was, but I mean, we're servicing our cars more than we're servicing our own freaking mental health. And why? I mean, don't get me wrong, the equipment is necessary and we need it.
Yeah, you gotta
as a
be
thing, but
physically capable.
We need to start looking at, all right, well, what are the qualities that we're looking for in a cop? The vast majority of the things we're looking for are behavioral mental.
Yeah.
But the only thing we're putting any money into is the tactics.
Physical stuff.
And we wonder why people aren't lasting so long in these careers.
Yeah.
No shit. And why their marriages are falling apart.
Yeah.
And psychology, don't get me wrong, it's got a bad name, and it's got a bad name from a bunch of really shit theorists and bad therapists and pop psychology all over fucking TikTok and shit. So people misuse things like gaslighting and like all that
Yeah.
other stuff. Like, no. And people have also started to bring on these things as part of their identity. You're not
Yeah.
that thing. So
Yeah.
why don't we find some way to learn how to process it, learn how to understand it. Then we have to sublimate it, which means turn it into something positive.
Yeah.
And by the way, your family is permanent. This is temporary. So
Yeah.
why don't we focus a little bit also on how not to fuck up your marriage and how to not fuck up your kids, right?
Yeah.
Cops' kids and preachers' kids, right?
Yeah.
Notorious
Yeah.
troublemakers, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at, and I won't name names, but we can all go back in our
Yeah.
careers and look at the different people that were even high-ranking
Yeah.
detectives and
Yeah.
people,
I know.
lieutenants and commanders that had kids that were constantly in the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I say it was bad parenting? No. I think it was, oh, my mom's a cop, my dad's a cop, whatever, and they decided they were going to be obnoxious.
I can just get away with it, whatever.
Yeah, and so
because there's that
I went
illusion
to jail
that we
and I
cover
go,
each other on everything.
I talked to this shift sergeant in the jail, and there was somebody in there, and I go, huh, that person looks familiar to me, and they look like somebody I know, and it dawns on me, oh, that looks like so-and-so, who happened to be at the time a lieutenant. And I went, hey, Sarge, that looks like so-and-so's child.
Yep.
And they went, oh, shit. And they looked at the name, they go, yep, okay, just letting you know. That's probably good. We'll call them.
Personal pod now.
Yeah, it's like, because, and I'm like, because it was a spitting image. Like, it's like, what the, you know? And, it's been that way for a long time. And you just go, man, I can't believe that.
And we know, like, fatherless homes. And because, the vast majority of cops are men, right? Yeah. Fatherless homes never adds up to anything good.
No.
Right? And kids that don't have their mom, around, or mom's, got all jacked up on Mountain Dew, okay, that's not good either. They need those two parents. They need both of them to be there, right? And we're not telling people that they need to invest in their family. We're only telling them they only invest in this profession. And the thing is, it's temporary. No matter how you fucking split it, this will end. It will either end in death, injury, or retirement.
Yeah.
Hey, we did it, buddy.
Yeah,
we all did it.
Yeah.
We made it.
So that does give us a lot to think about as far as what should happen and what could happen in this career in the future, because who knows if we'll have RoboCops down the line. We won't have to worry about it at all, right?
Right.
But looking on last week's episode, remembering some of the things you mentioned with your career, and then also looking at what you're doing now, if you were to tell a new person that wants to get in this job, what would you tell them? What would be your best piece of advice? I know I'm throwing him right in the spot, aren't I?
Yeah. Listen to this podcast. Listen to other ones like Sean Ryan, or other ones that talk to first responders, and especially retired first responders, retired special operators, and understand that this is completely normal. I'm not saying that it's a good normal, but it's normal.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful episodes on Sean Ryan was the one with DJ Shipley, and when he was talking about a lot of his physiological stuff.
On the way down to the beach today.
Yeah, when I was watching, listening to him on his physiological stuff and his behavioral stuff and his mentality and stuff like that, I was like, that was the first time I was like, oh God, I'm not alone. And it's very easy to feel that way in this job. So I would say anybody who wanting to get into this job, one, start listening to that stuff and understand that this is still a very honorable, noble job, and it needs to be done. And it needs to be done by good men and women who genuinely have a love for humanity and they want to see a better society. This isn't about power. This isn't about, authority. This is about genuinely trying to make other people's lives better. And I would also say, make sure you know the Constitution like the back of your fucking hand. The Constitution is the rules from the people to the government, not the other way around. And as a police officer, you're the mediator between the government and the people sometimes. And you need to understand your laws like a lawyer. I think we need to get better at that. This is a very demanding job, but it is the best fucking job on the face of the planet. And I would give my right arm to go back to it, at least the way it was. The way it was when we were still having fun and being able to investigate stuff and do good work. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat, But even knowing what I know now and knowing what the outcome was, I would do it all over again. And especially to do it with savages like you guys and all the other guys that were around at that time.
Those were fun days for sure.
It was fucking a blast.
Loved it back then.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Have fun with it, but don't let it eat you alive. I just went up to State of Washington Police Academy graduation. Actually ran into Christine. She's the deputy commissioner for the Washington State Police Academy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the same one I'm thinking of that was a lieutenant here?
Yeah.
In the jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
S,
so
Christine S, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I go up there for my friend. So she was a student at the gym, and we became really good friends. And she got hired on with a Northern Washington agency and invited me to go pin her badge for graduation. So I go up there and I pin her badge. And I just told her straight up, I'm like, I love you, and you know what my story is, but here's the thing. Promise me you will not let this job consume you. Do not let this thing eat your soul, right? The second you feel that it's eating your soul, it's okay to walk away. There are a million transferable skills, and it's going to be okay. You know, any service is good service. You know, whether you served in the military for 4 years as a supply guy or whatever, like, I know everybody puts all this emphasis on special operators and grunts and stuff like that, but none of that shit would work without that support staff.
Yep, you need support.
Right.
Everybody needs support.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
that's
just
what
like the
functions.
agency doesn't work without dispatch. They don't work without, you know, our supply guys. It doesn't work
It's
without
like we
the
wouldn't
jail.
work out of the jail.
Right.
I give the jail so much credit for what they do because
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't do the job.
No, it's very, very different. And so I just said, like, as soon as you feel like this job is eating your soul, you need to promise me you'll leave, right? It has there's so many positives to it, and you're going to get so much life experience. But at the same time, it comes with a cost. It will change you, and it will change you not always in the greatest ways, unless you are very, very mindful about it. And I would just say, if you choose this profession, great. I honor you, and I respect you for it. Do me a favor and seek repetitive, continuous counseling the entire fucking time. From the time you get hired to the day you retire, I want you to be servicing your brain the same way you service your car, the same way you mow your lawn, the same way you take care of your home, the same way you take care of anything else the same way you clean your fucking gun, right? You need to be just as religious about taking care of your mental health as you are about all that shit. Because, yeah, the tools are great, the equipment's great, but at the same time, if this shit ain't working right, you're not going to be able to use those tools right, and then you're going to end up in the ethics bulletin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that, and I would love to investigate it someday. I would love to study it. I have a feeling that every single one of those ethics issues could have been avoided had we dealt with mental health issues.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because my ethical fuck-ups, post-law enforcement, by the way, my ethical fuck-ups came from struggling mental health.
Yep.
And, you know, I hurt a lot of people as a result of that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I'm never going to be able to take back. I can feel guilt about it. I'm not going to feel shame. But, you know, if you don't take care of this brain bucket, man, this thing will eat you alive.
Agreed.
You know, but if you're going to do it, get after it and have a fucking blast, because it is a front row ticket to the greatest show on earth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much craziness in the world.
Yeah. And you can die saying you did something honorable.
Yep.
You can die happy that you helped other
You
people.
did make a difference.
in some way, even if you never see the result of it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But you did.
Yeah.
I mean, you know deep down you did.
Oh yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
No.
You know you did that day.
Yeah.
You did that day.
You did that
Yeah.
day, yeah.
Yep.
And then for the cops that are looking to get out, again, look at a career in mental health.
Yeah.
You know, be a counselor, be a therapist. You know, go into sport and performance psychology, go into marriage family therapy, go into, you know, LPC route, go do something within it, because they're so parallel. You'll still get the same feeling of gratification, and you actually
Yes.
get to see your results.
Agreed.
I've got to successfully discharge a handful of clients, and there's no better feeling than seeing them come in suffering and watching them leave healed.
Great. Good.
You know.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Society's babysitters.
Thanks, boys. I
Yeah.
appreciate coming
Dude,
out here.
thanks for
Yeah,
coming in.
thank you for
fuckers
coming
again.
in. Yeah.
What a great episode,
Yeah, yeah.
dude.
Thank you,
It
sir.
was really great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thanks for tuning in for both episodes, man. This
Yeah.
has been a very great, episode. Hits me really
Yeah.
close to home.
And when you're out there and you see Gerba, kill him.
Kill Gerber if you see him. All right. Hit the smash, hit the
everybody.
like, hit the whole whatever you know what to hit. Hit it. All right. Every Tuesday we
Everybody.
pop one out. All right. We'll see you in 2 and 2. Peace. Thanks, Tall Fur. Love ya.
When I